Well, hi everybody, and welcome to this edition of Sports Talk. I'm Jimmy Allinder, and joining me once again is the Supervisor of Athletics for East Brunswick High School, Frank Noppenberger. Frank, thank you very much for joining us for this edition of the Spring Wrap-Up.
Well, it's my pleasure, and before we go any further, I want to thank you, Channel 3, Sports Talk, for everything you guys do for the athletes at East Brunswick. I always say that at our spring meeting here, but it is appreciated by everyone. So again, thank you to you for volunteering your time, and TV3 for getting involved.
Well, on behalf of our staff, I thank you for that, and it is a joy. It really is, or I wouldn't be doing it anymore.
I guess.
Beyond that, though, before we get into the spring wrap-up, I did want to touch on a couple of issues, questions that you can choose to respond to if you'd like. And the first one has to do with the artificial turf field that may or may not be installed. In light of the budgetary considerations, budget being defeated, is that still a go, or is it a...
Yeah, it's a go. With the track and the field had to be done at the same time because of drainage. So they're both going to be done, and it's my understanding that we're getting bids and information out now. How soon that will be done will be depending on how busy the companies are, and how soon the bids, everything comes back. I don't anticipate it for the fall season because I would hate to rush it just to get it done. Yeah. But you know, we'll see what happens.
And when it is completed, what do you envision? Excuse me, this field or turf to be used for? Well,
first we'll have the football field in there permanently, soccer in there permanently, and paint the other sports on. And it would be used for lacrosse for the township, the Blackhawks, for the field hockey township and our team, certainly soccer, all levels, all grades, and the township. And of course football. We have two Pop Warners, and hopefully we'll be able to fit them into the schedule, which I don't see being a problem, although sometimes they both play on Sunday. So it's a community thing.
Right, and I'm sure that was the impetus to getting this moving along. I know living in Monroe Township, we had that artificial turf installed, and it's not what everybody envisions artificial turf looking like, sort of like a carpet. They've made some strides in that area, strides that I understand could contribute to even better safety in, say, adverse weather conditions. Oh,
absolutely, and you know, you can play on it. The maintenance is less, and depends on what study you look at, how much money it saves. But you can play on it without any fear of messing up the field or injury, and it drains very well. It's the stuff I like is the same stuff as Rutgers. A lot of the other schools in the area are using it: Perth Amboy, Sayreville, Piscataway. So. Yeah, we got to take our time. We got to do it right.
Absolutely.
Because this is a once-in-a-lifetime shot, and we want to look at the track and make sure that gets done properly. Everything all done at once.
Right. So for those that are looking at it in terms of cost, the benefits really outweigh the cost.
Well, I would hate to think that a cost would prevent anyone from doing anything as far as education is concerned, and athletics is a part of education. It's everyone's doing it. That doesn't make it right, but it's needed at East Brunswick. We have so many sports, we have so many township groups that could use it and benefit from it. I think it'll just be a great thing for the community.
Right, and something else that's new that I understand is taking place is for the district is the pay-to-play concept. Tell us about that.
I would like to refer to it as pay to participate.
Okay.
Yeah, what we're going to do is it's probably going to, after you make the squad, then you'll be assessed the amount of money to participate. It doesn't cover the entire expenses of a sport, but it will cover some of them.
Okay. And do you see this cutting into participation? as you like to call it?
No, because I think, like me, because I had daughters that played sports throughout their youth, parents are pretty much used to, maybe that's not the right word, but they do pay to play on this travel team or this team, so it is there. And our parents are pretty supportive of everything, especially with athletics, and hopefully it won't, it won't deter anyone from participating, because it's $50, I guess, is what we're going to have, and it's not that much.
Oh, is it a set fee for every sport, regardless of? Okay.
And all activities, all extracurricular activities. And I hate to say this, but it may be the thing of the future in sports, athletics throughout schools. I've had 2 schools, I won't tell you who they are, from Middlesex County, call me on it and want to get information about it. And our business manager is handling most of that, and he's done a good job researching it. It wasn't something we just looked at. They've thought about this for the last couple of years, but they feel I'm sure they feel the board feels it's a necessity.
Right.
I'd rather do that than cut a sport.
Obviously.
Don't ask me to cut a sport, because I wouldn't know what to cut, and I wouldn't want to do that.
Right, and you're faced with decisions on sports to add, much
Yeah,
less.
I think we need to add. I think we need levels of lacrosse added, sub-varsity, certainly sub-varsity volleyball, and I'd love to see sub-varsity tennis, because sport like tennis, you're limited in number of participants, and you can't sub. Some sports where you can sub in and out, you can keep more kids.
Yeah.
Tennis, you put 7 up and you play.
Sure. I want to get into our spring sports wrap-up, but I would be remiss if I didn't have you talk about Lou Cosa, who announced his
retirement.
Yeah. He's been really special through the years, hasn't he?
So he's been very special to the kids, to me personally, to East Brunswick High School, and certainly to girls soccer. He liked the song, Frank Sinatra song, he did it his way. He did it his way. Louis was a little different, but he was very successful. More important than that, and I've said it often, the kids respected him. They enjoyed playing soccer for him, and it was fun. And they left with a positive experience.
They sure did.
Part of that was winning, of course, but Louis probably never got the credit he certainly deserved, because they said, we're loaded with talent, and which we are. We do have a great youth program. But as my man Joe Torre knows, you still got to put the pieces in the right place, and you still got to win. And Louis has been able to do that for, my 19 years as athletic director. Every year he's won a title. He has won a title of some sort every year.
Is he already in the High School Hall of Fame, Coaching Hall of Fame?
There's many of those in New Jersey. He is in one, yes.
Okay. I'm just wondering if there should be another echelon of honors that would be bestowed upon Lou
if there
Cosa.
was, he'd certainly be the Ty Cobb and the Babe Ruth of that. He'd be the first ones in.
Yeah, well, I want to also offer my personal congratulations to him on just a wonderful career. He's a great guy, raised a bunch of great kids that are very successful in their own right.
Right, yes.
And a wonderful wife as well. So all the best to Lou in his retirement. Any other coaching changes can we look forward to?
Mr. Murray has stepped down as our cross-country coach, which he announced earlier in the year after a very successful, I guess, the last 15 years or so.
Okay.
They won the division and the conference this year.
Yeah.
And Michael Harnett, who's a second-year teacher with us from another district, he's going to take over. And Kevin Brady, a highly successful softball coach for us and coached in Spotswood girls soccer, he's going to take over for Louis.
So I'm losing my part-time TV announcer on occasion?
Brady's good. He'll be able to handle it. He's very dedicated. I don't know how he does everything he does in 24 hours.
How would you characterize this spring season just ending?
71% winning percentage, I think anyone would take. That's a lot of wins. Through the year, we had 8 GMC championships for the year. The spring only had 2. So although we had a great winning percentage in the spring, we didn't get as many titles as we would liked. Every team was winning, and we just didn't win the titles. Sometimes you have a decent year and you come through at the end. But boys volleyball won the conference, and boys golf ran the gamut with Mr. Henning.
Yes, they did. Well, let's start with baseball, coached by Tom Hockenjoss, who you have in parentheses 19 years.
Yeah, this is 19th year.
I cannot believe that.
Yeah, going fast. And he's another of the veteran coaches East Brunswick has that makes the place so special to work at.
Yeah.
He deals well with the kids. He gets excited when he coaches baseball, and that's okay. But he's really in for it for the kids. The winning and losing is important, but not as important as it used to be. To him, it's not a life and death type situation.
Team finished 9-13.
Yeah, a little disappointing. Just like softball, we went in a slump at the wrong time. We played the better teams in the county or the conference right to the end. But we just got in a slump. We couldn't get the hit when we needed to. But a couple of kids I'd like to mention was Ahmed Lamming, who led the team in hitting with 365.
What year is he?
He's a senior.
Okay.
Joey Fisher, we talked about him and his father earlier. He's graduating. Joey's going on to Lockhaven University. Hopefully he'll play baseball there. Eric Mealy pitched a no-hitter in the second to last game of the year. Jason Karlowski did a great job catching for us, and then Adam Pulowski, who played first base for us, will be going on to East Stroudsburg, hopefully to play baseball. They were basically our seniors, and although they didn't win any titles this year, they were all part of that championship last year, and their effort was always there, and that's important.
I'm glad you're mentioning the colleges that the seniors will be going to next year, and you're mentioning that they hope to play.
Yeah, some of them do, right? Yeah.
That's really just a great statement on what athletics can do.
That next level is such a big step that a lot of people don't understand. They think you're at a Group 4 school, you should be able to play at a small college. It doesn't work that way. Then it's a full-time job for that coach, so it's a little different than high school. His salary depends on wins and losses.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations to Tom on his coaching career as well as it continues, and trusting that the baseball team might be able to achieve the level that it's been used to in the past.
Yeah, I think we're on the way back.
Okay, great. Next is always a pleasure to talk about boys golf, coached by Bo Henning, who literally could take on the reins, I think, of any team, it seems, and make it successful.
Absolutely.
But, yeah.
Well, they were 15-1. We lost to one school with Seton Hall Prep by a stroke. A young team with their best player. Our best player, and this name you're going to have to remember, is Gene Yang, Y-A-N-G.
Oh, I know about him.
He was conference champion. Bo thinks he could be one of our best. But he had some nice seniors in there. We had Steve Ahn, Steve Quay, and Andrew Heidberger, who's not a senior, who helped. So we're going to be loaded again with golfers. And Bo's a true golf coach. A lot of golf coaches go out there, and because you can't coach on the course. Some of them just let them play. Bo is always talking to his kids before practice, during school, during breaks, and talking to them about soccer. He's an outstanding sorry about that, boys golf coach.
Why is it? I asked this question a lot in the past, and it seems like East Brunswick golfers are always coming into high school as accomplished golfers already, i.e. the Yang kid.
I think some of the young kids are playing at Tamarack. It's nearby, it's local, it's easy. I would think with a lot of professionals in the community, a lot of them parents are playing golf and are turning them on to golf. Girls golf, I know we're going to get to that, but Reggie Carney is, you could say, our girls golf coach. He's an assistant golf coach is his title, but coaches the girls that can't make the varsity or the starting squad. And those numbers are amazing. A lot of these girls have been playing with their dads. They go out on the course and they play. So they're being exposed to it at an early age. And Tamarack being so close makes it convenient. But Catherine Fitzgerald, she's an outstanding golfer, and Deanna Hoffman. And Catherine will be back, and she'll be a very good golfer by the time she graduates.
And Reggie does have somewhat of a track record of coaching girls.
Coaching like Bo, whatever he coaches, he can be successful at.
Yeah. Does he still have the fire, Reggie Carney?
Yes.
Okay.
The fire is now girls golf.
Yeah.
He just bought a new house, so he's got the fire about the new house. Fishing, he's big into fishing. Is the enthusiasm that he has for girls golf and that he had for basketball is there with fishing.
Yeah.
He just, if he does it, he's going 100%, and he's going to win and be successful at it.
Obviously, yeah. And I remember him this past winter coaching, assisting
He was
Saraville.
He was helping out a friend of his over there.
There you go. Okay. Well, congratulations to the golf teams for, again, making East Brunswick as successful as it is in spring sports. And we did talk about Kevin Brady, who will be the soccer coach this fall, but he also is occupying his springtime as the softball coach. The team finished 11-11.
Another slump at the wrong time. See, my theory about baseball and spring sports and softball is it seems like we just can't wait to get the season started and over with. By the time the weather gets nice, it's the end of May. Your season could be finished by mid-May.
Yeah.
Because everyone wants to get it in, get it over with, to avoid conflicts with graduation and proms and this and that and all the other things that go with high school. And by the time we were playing good ball, you know, we got in the slump early. We couldn't recover. Again, we played the better teams right down to the wire. Matter of fact, we beat a state champion, New Egypt. They were state champ, and we beat them at our place. So we were that capable. But it was just a slump for them. They had some nice pitchers. They had some nice talented players. Just didn't get it done. It wasn't an effort on the lack of effort on the coach or the athletes. It was just not getting a timely hit or giving up the hit at the wrong time. Andrea Blanner, I believe, was a 3-year starter for us, 3-year letter winner. She had a pretty good year. Gina Pensavalli was our MVP for the year. Lindsay Bruno was our outstanding offensive player. And Christine Lewis, a senior, who was our best defensive player.
Right.
Some other kids who did a great job was Sierra Abloff, came off the bench for us. How about this? She was an outstanding All-American cheerleader, and she was a substitute for the softball team. And her spirit and enthusiasm was there. She was used as a pinch runner a lot. But that's what you need. You need kids to play their roles and accept their roles.
Yes.
We have a couple youngs. We have the young Morrison girl who's going to be good for us, Kim Staub and Alyssa McCullough. So we've got 3 freshmen there that are going to lead us back to the conference title.
Great. Great. Okay, let's move on to lacrosse, which you had mentioned is a sport that perhaps needs more teams because of the popularity of this sport.
Yes, I think at the we have a JV and varsity. I think we definitely need that freshman program for a feeder. Although the Mr. Fusco and the Blackhawks do a great job in the youth program getting those kids ready, they just need another level of play. Because we have the athletes, and that was, especially in men, this year we made it to the GMC finals. Brand new coach we had, Matt Severino.
Right.
And you could see that we just lacked some experience of throwing and catching, and with a 9th grade program that would help, because we do have to cut in lacrosse. We don't cut many kids, but and there's those 9th graders that don't get a lot of time.
Yeah.
But the boys lacrosse team, probably the surprise of the year, not a lot of letter winners coming back, but making it to the GMC finals, had a very good record.
Yeah, 11-6.
11-6. Nick Fusco had a great year for us.
He's probably one of your best to come out of the lacrosse program. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, he lives, breathes lacrosse. He's an all-year-rounder, and he'll be maybe one of the best to leave here. But he was very good. Okay. Jimmy McCloskey, who was our Big E winner at our banquet, by the way.
What is the Big E winner?
Most outstanding athlete.
Jeez, I'm shocked.
Yeah, he could do it all.
Not at all.
I mean, how do you go football, point guard, and basketball, and lacrosse? 3 completely different sports.
Yeah.
But he was the team MVP. He had a good year for us this year. Trevor Swenson was the Coach's Award winner. Great leadership. He had a great inspirational speech. I believe it was him at the end of the last game. Had some people crying. And Vinny Taco, who's a young man, he received our Most Improved Award. Randall Nixon is coming back next year. Could be our quarterback too. So we got some and a great coaching staff. We'll be all right next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, let's move into spring track now. dual meet records mean very little. Would you agree?
No, I don't. I think that shows you the strength of a team. By you not winning a big meet doesn't show you how strong your team is. We are successful all the time in dual meets. We're not as successful as in the big meets. And both our coaches, Coach Mandy for the boys and Coach Mack for the girls, do a great job of getting everyone to run at the varsity level. That's why you'll see us with a lot of varsity letter winners. Not because the standards are lower. As a matter of fact, they're very difficult, but they make sure everyone gets in to run at the varsity level. And although we didn't have the success we would have hoped for, I think we had Erin Comerford was in girls was an all-division, all-conference performer. She's only a junior. Megan Herbst, who had to overcome some obstacles in her life, was an outstanding performer for us, all area, and she won Phil Haas's Red Badge of Courage at our banquet. Whitney Rodriguez is a sprinter who's only a 10th grader. Marissa Nadeau was our scholar athlete. She was a all-division high jumper. Naomi Stahl's only going to be a junior. She's going to contend for conference honors last year. She was our most outstanding sophomore track athlete. And Evelyn Shaw made it to the TSC in the high jump. So the girls' track team had some individuals. They were short in some areas. Boys track, on the other hand, had that 4x8 team that were just outstanding. They went down to North Carolina, ran against the best in the country. They went to Penn, ran against the best in the country and performed very well. School records, conference championships, and if I didn't mention them, I would be remiss, and that was Danny Gilbert, Yannick Wood, then there was Eric Sorkin and Justin Granite. And Justin, of course, as you know, was our only individual state champ this year in indoor. He's done a great job for us. Some unsung heroes for that track team, Dan Sullivan, Yao Saki, and of course Simon Bykowski in the pole vault area. Okay. So they did a good job, the track team, and we're always going to be good in track, and our dual meet is always going to be pretty good.
How do you schedule the dual meets? Do you strictly go by division, or?
Yeah, it's like in every other sports. There's a red, white, and blue division. Yeah. We play the bigger schools. Boys are home, girls are away usually. But with everyone doing a lot of renovation on tracks and fields this year, sometimes you would take both boys and girls home and turned it into like a little carnival. Okay, let's move on to boys tennis, coached by Bill Pellegrino, who with a 13-8 record, I'll have to say, not what he's used to. I've been AD 19 years, athletic director 19 years. Every year Pele has won his tennis team have won something, and I know it goes beyond my 19. Yeah. This year we just didn't do it. Don't know why. Maybe it was youth. I don't want to use that as an excuse, but we are young. Eric Levy was one of our better players. He's a 10th grader. Neil's only an 11th grader. And Sean Yap, or maybe our best player, he's also a junior. The county or the conference was pretty strong in the upper grades this year.
That's true.
But I'm sure Pelly will get him going back.
So he'll be back.
Oh yeah, I hope. Unless you know something I don't know.
I don't know.
But Pell is the best, and no one has
really
more respect in that school from the parents, from the kids, and the faculty. He's been there 40-something years.
That's terrific. Okay, our final sport that we're going to talk about is the boys volleyball team that, as you mentioned, finished as GMC champions. But boy, that last game against St. Joe's.
Well, before we go into that, I know you were just testing me to see if I'd forget girls lacrosse. That happens to be one of my favorite sports.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
That's right.
Good Lord.
Girls lacrosse, another one of those teams that need the feeder programs.
Yes.
We get freshmen that have never held a stick, never played, and it takes you a year or so.
Yeah.
When you go against the 100 and Centrals or the preps, they grow up holding a stick like our kids do at soccer. So we've got to get them a youth program going there.
Okay.
They had a very good year under Cindy. I would say our MVP, Rachel Snyder, may have been our most outstanding player. She got a lot of individual accolades. Yeah. Shannon Mastro Giovanni is being recruited to play in college. Kirsten Gash has done a good job for us this year playing offense and defense. Cindy moved her around a lot. Rebecca and Sarah Gross, two seniors who will miss, and Amy Sacco will miss. And next year, Carolina Marrero will be back for us.
Okay.
So we'll be pretty good next year.
I think you
Volleyball.
Yeah, but by the way, if we had not talked about, we would have heard from Cindy. I'm sure.
Cindy,
okay, go ahead.
Cindy's got a passion for her sports.
Yes, she does.
And you need that as a coach.
Okay.
And that's what I like about our coaches. They come in, Jim, and they forget there's other sports out there.
That's true.
The world doesn't revolve around
that's why you're
sport, I guess.
Good. Okay, 26-4, volleyball.
Yeah, they won the conference championship. They were very young. We had our better players, maybe Eric Corpus, who was an all-state player, Travis Heilman, who should have been an all-state player. They're juniors. John McLaughlin was a third-team all-state player. And Kyle Barry, another all-conference type performer, all underclassmen. Our two seniors, Dmitry Esterov and Alan Gitlin, certainly did a good job for us, but we were carried by underclassmen this year. And this could be the year of the slump, because we went through a series of points where we had deer in the headlight look to us at that finals. And you can't lose concentration in any sport, Jim. You can't, and I think we lost it. I think they got caught up in their emotion. We lost concentration, and you can't do that in sport. Had a conversation with Craig Nettles, and I tried to get to him on why he was such a good third baseman. I said, was it 100 balls a day? Was it became a natural reaction, like tying your shoe, not even thinking about it? And he kept going at me. He says, no, it's concentration, concentration, concentration. And you think about sports, you lose your concentration. Where your man is on defense, what the count is on football, or in baseball, what's the pitcher going to throw, a curve, and you lose concentration.
It's a good lesson.
You can't lose concentration in sports.
That's true, regardless. Last question. Your sportsmanship awards that
that I'm very proud of.
Okay. Who are they this year?
Well, this year our boys track team won it in the winter. Our girls track team won it in the spring.
Okay.
And both basketball teams under Katie Whalen and Bo Henning were voted by the officials in New Jersey as having the best sportsmanship.
Oh, I think I agree with that.
That included our crowd, our coaches, and the way everybody's treated. So that's special to me. When you can win with class and lose with class, and look, I don't like to lose, but sometimes you got to bite your lip, go over and congratulate everyone, including the ref.
Great.
That's special when we receive awards that way.
Okay. Well, I thank you very much once again, Frank Noppenberger, for being here to discuss this winning team, winning season, winning year, 71%. And again, just a wonderful accomplishment for the athletes of East Brunswick. So that's going to do it here for this edition of Sports Talk. For Frank Noppenberger, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.